Hello, Star Citizens. Welcome to our 5-part series for how to get every Overdrive Initiative mission done. Before I start, every month we do a giveaway. This month's giveaway prize will be a Hull A. To enter, subscribe to the channel, like or dislike a video, and leave a comment on a video from this month. For the full giveaway details, make sure you visit our Billionaire Ninjas Discord or our social media at Ninjas Leap. I won't go too much into the details of what the missions are. I just did a 20-minute video on that, so go check that out if you're interested. I'll just say what I've learned. This is for people who are having a hard time and have already attempted the missions mostly, but if you haven't, you still might be able to get something out of this. So I'll start with some general tips, and I'll include these in pretty much every mission or every video. So refuel and repair before every mission. Reset your respawn location at a space station for quick redeployment. The Carrack is your best friend because it has a tier 2 med bed and you can fit a few vehicles on it. Make sure you prep before every mission. Communication is key during the missions, so figure that out for what your communication needs to be. These missions are best attempted late night when servers are fairly empty. Prepare to server hop, and don't be afraid to use European and American server swaps to find your empty server. Check your mission history to make sure you completed the missions after every single mission. Beware of the server frames per second. If the frames are high, expect higher difficulty in FPS related missions. If frames are low, expect higher difficulty in ship combat related missions. As always, beware of the griefers just trying to ruin the fun, because they are in every mission. All right, so let's start with the intel raid. There's 3 main parts. You got to avoid the anti-air, your initial assault, and then there's finding and entering the codes. So there's 5 actual missions you have to do where it's the exact same mission, just on a different planet somewhere. So your prep, you want to make sure you pack up and stock up. You don't need a tiger claw, but it goes faster if you have one, so I just say take one anyway. You need heavy armor. You need a bunch of ammo both in your inventory and in your backpack. Alternatively, take a weapon the enemy uses. They use like basic SMGs. You need at least 20 med pens and a med gun. You need effective communication. You need a lot of time because they take a long time. You have to do this mission 5 times, and the mission gets harder every time you do it. So just make sure you have a lot of time set aside to do it. If you're trying the mission solo or with less than 3 players, get an anchor player. So that means add a player to your party who is not attempting the mission so that you don't fail when the 2 players attempting the mission both die. Then you can bring ships with a lot of quantum fuel to avoid having to make those additional stops. You do not want to have to stop a whole lot of times. It's going to make already long mission even longer. All right, so let's start with avoiding anti-air. So here you're going to want to make sure you have at least 3 people. Now, people say you can do it with less people. I do not suggest it. If you want a guide for how to do it with less than 3 people, this isn't for you. My guides are assuming you have 3 people. So even when you have 3 people, bring an additional person, because 4 people is better. So 3 people is the absolute minimum that I would suggest, but 4 people is probably what makes the most sense. So make sure that you take a ship that can carry a vehicle, and bring a vehicle. Bring a cyclone, in fact, because hills are everywhere and rocks are everywhere, and those cyclones can flip over and take a whole lot of damage and keep on trucking. So yeah, don't try to shoot the anti-air down. Maybe if you have like 10 things shooting at the anti-air, but even still, just take a vehicle. It's so much easier. For your initial assault, make sure you watch your step when you get on the elevator. Multiple times I hopped on the elevator, was ready to go, and then fell off the elevator to my death. So watch your step. Make sure you loot and scoot as you use med pens. Pick up med pens from the people that you have downed. As you use ammo, pick up ammo. You do not want a mad dash at the end or near the end of the mission to pick up ammo. Also, understand that enemies respawn every time you reach a checkpoint, any type of checkpoint in the mission. Now, let's move on to the entering and re-entering codes. So the enemies spawn in elevators, so know where the elevators are located before you start the download. Locate all the screens where codes will show before starting the downloads and create a rhythm for checking each screen so everyone knows where to check and what their responsibilities are. If you're responsible for entering the codes, let people know what the status of the servers are for heat warnings so they understand how much time they have to find the codes. Make sure you always let your team know how close the upload is to completing. Don't forget to loot on your way out, and don't forget to heal your injuries in between missions. I said a carrot goes a long way when it comes to both healing and taking a few cyclones with you if you have one. Loot goblins, make sure you pick up the special armor. You can tell it's special because it has that Xeno threat logo on it, especially that helmet. Actually, so what I want to end this talking about, right, is the actual experience itself. So when you arrive, right, you're going to get there. There's going to be weapons shooting at you. You have to either take out those weapons or you have to land. Like I said, I suggest landing, getting out of the ship, getting into a cyclone and driving to get into the mission. When I arrived, I didn't see that there were anybody shooting on the ground outside. It seemed more like it was only inside. So you hop on that elevator, you go down, you go in. All of these places look exactly the same or very close to similar. Like I didn't see anything that made me be like, oh, this is over here now. Pretty much everything looked exactly the same when you go inside. But I also am recording this as of April 27, 2024. So if you're watching this at a later date, it might be different. That being said, we go in, there's in that initial assault, you'll have a bunch of people. You have to take all those people out. Then you can start, you go up to the machine, you put your tiger claw in, or if you pick one up from the guy with the hard hat, you can pick one up from him, put that inside, and then that'll allow you to start the uploads. And then you have to go from each little portion of the servers and put the codes in to stop it from overheating. And then everybody else is outside killing enemies and looking for codes. While you're inside that room, you'll also have an elevator right in front of you that you'll have to kill people in, so make sure you're behind cover. And yeah, so you have to do that 5 times, and each time the enemies, they'll either be more enemies, or they'll have better guns, or they'll have better armor, or they'll just assault you, like run out of the elevator and go crazy at you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So make sure that you are, again, on empty servers, and then that's going to better ensure that you can, complete these missions and not run into any bugs or stuttering or FPS issues or whatever it is. All right. And that's it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Stay tuned for part 2. Peace.